away. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The countdown continues toward the College Football Playoff National Championship game. Ohio State and Notre Dame, 6:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN. Buckeyes seeking their 6th title and first in a decade. Fighting Irish looking to win their 12th title and first since 1988. OSU, an 8.5-point favorite tonight per ESPN bet. The Ravens refusing to blame tight end Mark Andrews' drop pass on a late 2-point conversion attempt for the team's 2-point loss to the Bills in last night's AFC divisional playoff game. Quarterback Lamar Jackson directed his anger at Baltimore's 3 turnovers, which did include 2 by Jackson himself, his 4th career postseason game in which he's thrown an interception and lost a fumble. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford says he'll take some time before deciding on his NFL future. The soon-to-be 37-year-old has 2 years remaining on his contract.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Welcome indeed. John Abraham, Cat Cool, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Appreciate you joining us for 2 hours as we recap a little bit of what happened over the weekend, as it was a jolly good weekend, as well as, of course, the national championship that's going down tonight.
Wait, is that tonight?
Notre Dame and Ohio State. Yeah, I don't know. Did you forget about it?
I did. I did forget about it.
A little bit of a big deal.
Also forgot to fix the hair today.
I thought you were wearing a hat, so I thought that would be covered.
No, it was. Have you seen the hat?
Oh, yeah. Where is it?
Hold up.
I can grab it. No, you. Okay. Let me guess.
I didn't think you'd seen it.
And that's exactly what I thought. Go and check out WZZN TV to watch the show. See what crazy hat Joe's wearing today.
It's not crazy.
He is a Japanese baseball fan.
It is. There's a lot to this. And a matter of fact, I need to check my messages that I got, because I purchased this hat. That's probably about 3 weeks ago. And I just got it in, okay?
Well, I had to ship across the world,
It does. It has to ship across the world just to get here. And what's bad is I've also ordered a jersey that got lost.
Oh, no.
No, I got the email earlier that it got lost in there, so they're having to ship a new one to me. But the reason why I've got to double-check this, and I'm looking, and so – but I looked at it again, found out that it was one of the – oh, wait, okay. Dang, I got excited.
What was that?
Okay, so here's the thing. So I get this hat. I get this one. And now, look, there are hats that you can purchase in Japan that are called, like, replica hats.
Yeah.
But then there are the ones that are also, like, the official on-field hat. And so you can see this on WZZN TV. It doesn't matter if you're in Winchester or if you're in Huntsville, you can see it. But that has the official MPB logo on it.
What does that mean?
Well, that's the name of the league. Is the
NPB.
the Nippon, something like that, professional baseball is what it's called. And so the reason I started asking questions is because something's inside the hat that I've never seen before. Like, I own a lot of baseball hats, okay?
Yeah.
There's only like maybe, I want to say, I think I did the count. There's only 4 Major League Baseball teams that I don't own hats for, and mainly because the Cardinals suck. And so that's one of the reasons why. But inside this, and you can see it on WZZN TV, is the number 25.
Now, is that because of a baseball player or the year?
So that's my question. Like, I wanted to know, like, is that because whenever you play baseball and everybody has their hats on the bench. So what do? You get a Sharpie and you write the number, like right there on there. So I thought that maybe in Japan, they just got like really, really fancy with this. And they just like sewed the number of the player on inside the hat. So I'm going, wait a second. Is this like a game use hat that I just purchased and I had no idea for? So I've been messaging a guy back and forth, and he says there's a possibility that the hat that you purchased actually is the uniform number of a player that is on the Hanshin Tigers team.
Okay.
Which is Ryu Wanatambe, which I know this because
you play the game.
Exactly. Yeah. But he says that there's a possibility that this is actually the hat, one of the hats that he wore in the game.
There's a possibility.
There's a possibility of this.
Why don't we do this in the first place over here in America, where if you buy a hat, especially a high dollar hat, there's a possibility you might just get it signed, or you might get a game worn hat, because that is an awesome idea.
Well, no, it's a fantastic idea, because then again, like I've got all the hats that I have, like every hat that I've ever worn in a baseball game. I have the hat still with me, and it's got my number written in it, and I always had like a little phrase or something like that I put inside the hat. But see, like for me, when I played in high school, they didn't have the number 27.
Oh,
see,
that's
so
a good number
exactly.
too.
And so at my high school, we never had that. So I actually rocked 25.
Yeah.
So when I got the hat and I saw the number 25, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But then I saw the list and I went, wait a second. There's a number 25 on Hanshin's team. Wait, did I just purchase like a game-worn hat and I just didn't know it? Like, I don't know. And so, so he just messaged me this morning, the guy that I bought the hat from, who is out of Osaka. And in it, when he sent me the hat, he also gave me an origami. So he sent like a little thank you card.
Japanese, man. Going above and beyond. A little origami. What type of origami are we talking?
I think it was a swan. It's tiny.
It's always a swan.
It's tiny. It's like this big, and it was like a little thank you card.
I think that's
in
big.
English, and it had an origami in it. And I was like, dude, this is service right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, you want to get somebody to become a fan of your league, do stuff like this.
Well, I think if you buy anything from Japan, they're going to send you something, whether it's like a little sticker. But origami takes a little bit more effort, especially a small one.
Right.
So I got to admit, I got to give them cred. They did a pretty good job with that. Also, you might have also just got signed to a team. If they also put in your number 25, they might know who you are.
So in a few weeks ago, I was at UAH. Okay. And I'm at UAH a lot. Obviously, we had basketball games over there this weekend. But when I was there inside the varsity room, there was a fan of 97.7 that walked up to me, and he was like, "Hey, so you're a Hanshin Tigers fan, huh?" And I'm like, "Whoa, where did this come from?"
In public.
Oh my God. There's people that will talk about this. Oh my God.
By the way, if you're just joining us and you're like, these guys are kind of zany. I mean, this is what the show is all about. So.
Welcome to a Monday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, yeah.
That the national championship is happening.
And we got a new president.
And somebody's doing something on a Bible. I don't know.
We got a new president. And also on top of that, if you're listening in ESPN Winchester, even on 97.7 on the app, wherever you want to be, you could be in California. And you could still call into the show, 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in.
So I say that because he even told me, hey, look, obviously the Japanese language is a little bit unique in trying to say, because they have different – that's it. That's literally all we know. They have like 3 or 4 variations of an alphabet or their language. Mm-hmm. So they have different words for foreigners and what they do for locals and all this. So he says, look, if you ever need any help with pronunciations for certain things, just let me know. So he just hit me up about the pronunciation of the baseball league. So it is pronounced Nippon.
Ooh, okay.
So it's the Nippon Professional Baseball.
I thought Nippon sounded a little bit more American.
It did.
Nippon sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, so Rick, I definitely appreciate that. But the hat just came in this weekend, and so I decided I needed to rock it today just so that everybody could see. Like, this is like the on-field hat for the Hanshin Tigers. So I'm rocking this one today because let's be honest, there's nothing else happening. You know, I think there's more people in Huntsville wanting to figure out the reason why we had like an hour and a half break during the Huntsville Havoc game on Saturday night than what they actually want to know about the national championship game that's playing tonight. Because we're Steve and I are doing the games, and you know, that was the second game of 2. We had the game on Friday night, which was broadcast on Flow Hockey, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, which is where you can find the Havoc Zone. And it was broadcast on WAFF 48.3.
Your big break.
It was. And I honestly did not realize that many people were going to be watching the game on 48.3. So we had an amazing game. Game goes into OT. I finally got to use my Buster Larson call.
I heard.
I have been saving that thing for weeks, and finally Buster got a goal, and I was able to use it on a game winner, and it was amazing.
Dude, I was able to listen to that live and then also see the video feed of it, and I have to say I was there for the creation of that tagline.
You were.
And you finally got to use it, and it was at the end of this game, and you were just ecstatic.
I was. And if you were listening, I even said like maybe a minute or so before it, Buster, I've been holding this for 3 weeks. If you put one in the net, man, we're about to have some fun. And so we have that one on Friday. Then we come into Saturday night, which was Melissa George night. And we're in the game, and everything is flowing well. And everybody's kind of looking like, dang, this game's kind of going by quickly. But then with about 4.5 minutes to go, refs blow the whistle, throw their hands up, and everybody stops. And I'm trying to figure out, all right, was there a penalty? Do we had an offsides? Because it was right in front of the Havoc bench and right there beside the blue line. And I'm thinking, wait, what happened did somebody go offsides? We got a face-off right here in neutral territory, in the neutral zone. What's going on? And the next thing you know, everybody starts looking down at the ice.
Was it cracked? Did it just crack all the way through? Like, what are we talking
And so
here?
the right where the Zamboni comes out, the arena crew starts coming out with fire extinguishers. And I'm going, there can't be a fire on the ice. Like, what is going on? Come to find out, there was a hole in the ice.
Just a whole hole.
Just a hole. Now, once you got to actually have like a better look at the hole.
It wasn't like a divot, though. Was it like an actual hole?
It honestly looked like what it was a skating divot.
Okay.
It's kind of what it looked like from my vantage point. Is it looked like somebody made a hard cut and it kind of went through the ice a little bit too deep, but you could almost see the floor, like it was that deep of a hole.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen.
So the arena crew starts doing one thing, and they started trying to pack it. And then Dom gets down on like his hands and knees, and everybody's trying to get the shaved ice that we'd use because, again, there's only 4.5 minutes left in the third period. There's a lot of shaved ice around.
You know what I would have just done is I would have just got a slippery when wet sign, and I would have just put it right over that divot.
That's what me and a couple other people says, like, dude, why can't we just go get a cone? Just go get a cone, put it over here.
Yeah.
There's only 4.5 minutes left in the game.
These guys are
What is the
professionals.
likelihood that we actually are going to even go around this cone at some point in time? So Dom starts trying to fill it in with the shaved ice. They start getting the fire extinguishers to try to freeze it instantly. We then start getting water, and we're doing all that we possibly can to try to fill this in. And finally, the ref blows the whistle, and the players start walking off. And we're thinking, did they just call the game? Like, what did they do? And not to mention that this is Melissa George night. We have an auction for the jerseys coming up afterwards. We were like millimeters close, if that's even a thing when measuring dollars, which it's not.
I would have just said 90% done.
No, we were so close to getting and crossing over the $1 million mark for the foundation.
Wow.
And so, like, there's a lot of things kind of riding on this thing tonight. Like, it wasn't just the fact that we've got a broadcast going on, and we got into the break so long that they started putting the Lions game up on. I'm sorry, the Commanders game on. My bad.
Come on, you got to say the winner
Yeah,
of
I
the
got to
game.
say the winner. Sorry about that. See, they put the Commanders game up on the Jumbotrons so everybody could watch the game,
Nice.
which I didn't know if it helped or hurt because you had so many Michigan people on the Havoc bench because there's like 6 of 7 of these guys that are all huge Lions fans that we found out during the Havoc hour.
I didn't even think of that. I saw the pictures. I thought this was cool. I think they put it on the TV as well, and it was definitely a first for a lot of Huntsvillians. But still, for the bench, you're right. A lot of those guys are Detroit Lions fans, and to watch that game, and we'll talk about it plenty in the upcoming segments. That's got to be just like a double kick in the shin. I'll just say that.
I'm standing on the bench, and if it had been a blowout, if Huntsville would have been up or down, most likely up, 4-1 or something like that, where we're just coasting into the finish, I would have totally started telling the guys, hey guys, Lions are winning. Just letting you guys know. Like, I was going to give updates. I was prepared. I'd already thought about how I was going to start doing this. You know, if I had one of the Michigan guys like on the end of the bench where I was going to be like, hey, letting you know this is what's happening. Like, because again, they stop, you start chilling out a little bit more. But the game was close. It was tied up for majority of the game, and then it's only a 1-goal lead for Huntsville going into it. And so I'm going, all right, I'm not mentioning it. Like, I'm looking at the score, and I'm not wanting to mention it because, again, I don't want to either make them angry, and I didn't know if it would help or hurt. I had no idea. And so I'm thinking, I was like, all right, I'm going to sit back. Well, then they put the game up on the score, the game up on the Jumbotron, and you could literally see half the Havoc players like, son of a, are you serious?
That's an extended break right there. I would kick back and chill out and just enjoy the football, though, on the screen. How did you fill out that entire hour?
We talked a lot.
Okay.
And so basically what Steve and I did was once the players started leaving the ice, I had some of the arena crew and the refs beside me, and I was like, so is like the game called? Or what are we doing? They're like, no, we're going to run the Zamboni again. So they brought the Zamboni out, and they just did another round around the ice like it was an intermission.
Okay.
And so Steve and I are just live on the air. So we just started doing sports talk radio. Like and I'm looking around, and I kept saying, we start talking about the concession stand because look, people really don't realize this. The concession stand closes at the beginning of the third period. So in this instance, when it's the end of the third period, the concession stands are already cleaned up. Mm-hmm. There's nobody there.
Ice cream machines already
Everything is done. And I'm like, hey, guys, can we just like open up the concession stand? Just one. Just give me one concession stand because we're all hanging out. A lot of people are wanting to stay for the auction after. Mm-hmm. Like, we needed to know how this was, we needed to be able to feed some people. I'm not saying open up the alcohol, mainly because here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into the stands, and I kind of wanted to talk to people.
Oh, that would have been cool.
The problem was I didn't know who was and wasn't kind of, let's just say, drunk.
Well, there's that. There is definitely that. You can't. I don't know if you can just go to any old fan and just start talking because these are hockey fans we're talking about.
Well, and again,
as
this isn't just on the Havoc Zone. This is also on Flow Hockey. This is going around the world. So there were a few question marks that I had about that.
Stick to the players on the ice.
There's 4.5 minutes to go in the game, so it's not like I can joke around with the players because it's a 1-goal game. Huntsville right now only has a 3-point lead in the standings. Peoria had just won. So you knew, like, all right, it's either going to be a 1-goal lead or a 1-point lead, or you're going to maintain the 3-point lead. Like, what was it going to be? So we turned it into a talk show. Mm-hmm. Like Molt and I are talking about, I was giving updates on the whole. We were talking about what was coming up with Melissa George night. We were then talking about the football game because the game was on. They were showing it in the arena. So we just started doing a sports talk show. If it would have went about 4 or 5 more minutes, I was about to start suggesting that we took phone calls.
Yeah.
Let's just start having fun with this.
That would have been hilarious. And on top of that, I got to say, if there's anywhere to do a sports talk show, I would say the VBC is definitely up there as the best.
Look, this is how deep, this is how much music that we had to play, okay? The guy controlling the music, his name's Steve, you may know him. Steve, who controls the music, had to go all the way back to start playing the Macarena. Wow. We got all the way down the playlist to the Macarena.
Take it back to the 90s.
I mean, that's how far back we went with having to try to keep this up. And again, if they would have just thrown Steve and myself on the speakers, we would have turned this into just an arena-wide talk show. I would have just stood in the middle of the ice. we'd have brought Steve down, and we would have just started talking to people. Like, let's just go ahead, let's interview some people. Hey, let's talk about some things.
I don't know if Steve, if he came down, he'd want to go back up. That's the only problem.
No, none of us do. Matter of fact, I actually left my my wireless headphone pack upstairs because I needed to change the batteries out, and then I got all the way down the steps, and then I remembered, crap, I forgot the pack. I just said, screw it. I'm not going to do it like that. I just called him, and he put me on the phone.
Yeah, nobody wants to go up and down those
no.
stairs. I will say, I would be the one to run back up and get it, because I'm that type of guy. I got a little bit of that squirrely attitude to me, but
you can only do it so many times.
Yeah,
You can only do it so many times.
Max, I'll say this 4.5 times at the VBC because those are steep.
I think that I was at I believe I was at 4 before the third period.
It's all right.
And I went back up there at the end of the game.
You might have forgotten the battery packs. I lost my gloves again, and let's just say
I don't have them.
It's been a little bit cold outside.
Look, I do not have them.
They might be at the VBC. I've been there back and forth like about 1,000 times. So
all that being said, that was what happened Saturday at the Huntsville Havoc game. I know that we got some callers on hold we're going to get to in just a second. We had SEC play that went crazy. Alabama, Auburn won. Tennessee, both men and women got beat by Vanderbilt this weekend. All right, we have all that. We had all the NFL playoffs, which, yes, the Lions did lose, which really kind of hurts my heart a little bit. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about it as we continue. But phone lines are open to you, 256-576-4977. Get you in this morning on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio, including the college football playoff and national championship game. The electricity, the atmosphere. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the college football playoff national championship, presented by AT&T. Coverage begins Monday, January 20th at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
It's the beauty of college football. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying, Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hello listeners, I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume, and yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC, and here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A mostly clear sky expected for this Thursday night. Low temperatures going to be falling into the lower 30s for the overnight. Heading into our Friday, high temperatures warm into the mid and upper 50s for the afternoon. Heading into Friday night, scattered showers return into the forecast, mainly after midnight. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 40s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm sorry, Joe. It's a Monday, and this is a Monday type of programming. Welcome back in, though, to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, and a whole lot of listeners calling in. As we've already gotten into a little bit of the fun conversation. Havoc, of course, wonderful weekend over at the VBC. Joe, you got to experience it firsthand.
Unlike some of the sporting events that I know that we're going to talk about today, none of the games that we aired locally ended in a loss. UAH men and women both won.
Yeah.
Havoc won on Friday. Havoc won on Saturday. The 4 wins across the board on all the games that we were broadcasting 97.7 wise.
Well, you want dubs, then go and download 97.7 ESPN app over on Apple and Android devices. You get all that local broadcasting over there, as well as, of course, tonight we get the national championship.
Yep.
And from there on out, of course, more NFL playoffs, which we are in the semifinals now.
Yes.
I'm just going to call it that.
Yeah, well, no, it's not in the semifinals. You're in the conference championships.
It's the semifinals.
No.
It's the same thing.
No, it is, but it isn't.
Look,
so
it's it's more lazy for me to say semifinals because we're going to be talking about the finale of the championship game for the college football. I'm just going to get so confused when it comes down to this stuff. So yes, you're probably right. Conference championship gotta be the way to go.
Well, and there was a lot of people that was on Saturday night that the Flow hockey was kind of messing up, so a lot of fans at home weren't able to listen to the game. And I know that a lot of the Havoc fans listen on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, even in ESPN Winchester. They come down and they go to Havoc games. Download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Do it.
And so there's always going to be the Havoc logo that you're going to click on whenever the 97.7 app turns on. And right when you turn that on, that will get you to the game whenever the game is going on. So that was something that was kind of like, wait a second, I thought you said you guys had it on. It's on the Havoc Zone. It's always going to be on the Havoc Zone, regardless as to if it's on talk radio or 97.7. So if you're a Havoc fan and you're unable to get to the game and you want to listen to it, go to and always tune into the Havoc Zone. That's where you can do so.
And it works hand in hand with the Chargers Zone if you want to watch or listen to any of the UAH basketball games, whether they're on Talk Radio WZZN, which you should download because of all the things that are going around in our government and around the world in general.
Men are ranked in the top 5 right now in the country.
But especially because, of course, UAH men's basketball is amazing. And I will say this, UAH women's basketball, no slouch either.
No, they're legit.
Yeah.
And I mean, they are, I think that they've only lost 3 games so far this entire season.
Yeah.
And this is an entirely different basketball team than what it was.
No doubt.
And you have somebody like Millie Brown, who is, I want to say, either first or second in three-pointers made. Don't even say it.
I said it under my breath.
I know you
I didn't know you could hear it.
I know. I absolutely can.
It's right in your ears.
But she was, she's either like first or second in Division II in three-pointers made. You have a girl like Lily Wilkin who literally does everything. She can shoot threes. She's going to be going in getting rebounds, offensive, defensive rebounds. I mean, the team's made up of a ton of dogs, and they have a lot of great three-point shooters.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We do need to hop into the phone lines, but before we do that, I'd like to remind you that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. I believe we got Jason first, but we also got Jeff on the bulletin. So
we're going to one of them.
Hello, caller number one.
Welcome into the Blitz. How's it going?
How's it going, guys?
What's up, sir?
I just wanted to say where is Lion Dad or Michigan? Where's he at today?
Ooh.
You know, I was wondering if he was going to be one of the first ones to call in or not.
Yeah, I think he's moving back to Michigan with the losers up there. So he'll learn. He'll learn again. Again, they blow it again, and Dan Campbell, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I couldn't get it done, boo-hoo.
Now, look, we do have a lot of respect for you calling in because of the Kentucky Wildcats. So I will say that.
They didn't get it done, okay? They're supposed to be Super Bowl bound. They're going to strut, and the Commanders whip their butt.
Yeah, there is a difference here because with
it's not even close.
Yeah, with Kentucky, of course, they were able to
Kentucky
keep it.
Lost too. I'm not going to lie, they got beat. Okay, there's no question. But see, this is the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not going to a Super Bowl. Everybody said they're going to a Super Bowl. They're going to strut. They're going to roll over everybody. There were 15 wins and all this stuff. And the little Commanders come there, the 6th seed. Is that what their seed was?
Yes,
was it
6th
5 or 6? The 6th seed beat the 1. Mm-hmm. Okay? So the 1 says goodbye, and 6 is going to Philadelphia now. Okay?
Yeah.
So they're advancing on. The Commanders are practicing while the Lions are putting stuff away. This period.
Yeah.
Okay? The Kentucky game was in the 3rd of the season. They got beat, ain't no question. They got beat.
And it still was a close game. It was a close game, so it's like we can't dog on Kentucky too much. It's
I know,
just,
but are you that Tennessee fan?
No, I'm not the Tennessee.
No, he's not the Tennessee fan. I am, yeah.
Hey, how about the Clankety Clanking Memorial?
Turn it around on you, Joe.
Oh no, I totally agree with him.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah,
no. How about we can't box out? Good. Vanderbilt 71, Tennessee 70. Your comments?
No, they absolutely couldn't box out. If you were able to stop some of the offensive rebounds that Vanderbilt was getting, you would have been able to win.
I'm talking about the women's game Sunday. I ain't talking about the Sunday. Lady Falls. I'm talking about.
Okay, same thing. I mean, same thing. They lost to Vandy. Both teams lost to Vandy. I mean, there's nothing to make. There's no excuses for it.
Yeah, see, everybody thinks Rick Barnes is a great coach. Oh well, I don't know. 20% against Florida, they couldn't get up, and then they clankety clank the free throw, clankety clanking, clankety clank, clankety clank. Don't talk back. All right?
I like that one.
When the clankety clank happened, stormer number 1 happened. But when the box out didn't happen and the lay in, it scored stormer number 2.
Yep.
See, they got fined $250,000. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
They got fined for the Bama too. So, like I say, hey, Kentucky's got to go to Vanderbilt, Tennessee. That's fine. See, Tennessee, they think they're so great at everything. That's their problem. They think they're great at everything they got, and they ain't. See, that's what I try to tell these other morning guys. That's why Texas got rid of Barnes. They got sick of it. They're tired of him losing in the 1st and 2nd round. So you guys, that Tennessee fan, I know he's not in today because Tennessee got whipped. He's not going to come on the show.
No,
he knows I'll ram his butt.
Yeah.
He's not going to come on the show today.
No.
What you doing watching there's inauguration? Somebody, he's watching some inauguration.
Yeah.
Is that what he's watching?
Yeah,
some
he is.
or something. I think his name's Donald or something. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Somebody Donald or something. It's Donald Duck. I thought it was Donald Duck, wasn't it? I don't know. Donald Duck. That was getting inaugurated. He had to go inside though. He couldn't hang with cold weather. Had to go inside. It's too cold outside. Remember, why don't you put your coat on and raise your hand up? But, like I said, he won't come in because if Tennessee won both them games he'd be in today.
Yeah, you're right.
So what's he do? Is he sick or is he out sick or?
Yeah, he's sick today.
Did he get the ball virus and tell you something? Nothing sucks like a big orange. Understand? I like them balls. Tennessee debris will always be plain old garbage to me. Good old Tennessee debris. Ball trash in Tennessee. Steeler Mike, call in. Will you? Give me some comments, son. Come on, Steeler Mike. Call in, big boy. I'll come into Winchester and take you out, man. Anytime you want. Come on, son. I'm the best of all time. We'll see you, man.
Always good stuff from Jeff. I mean, first off, I appreciate this because he's setting up more conversations later down the road. So already, there's one of them.
I'm so confused right now.
Heavy hitters around the corner. That's all I could say. Joe, take it away.
No, he takes swings, but I'm literally sitting right here the whole time. Like that's the part that I was like, no, he's sick. Nah, he's out. He's good. No, I'm sitting here. I was literally telling you what happened in the game and the reason why it happened the way it did. Oh, it's awesome. All right. You can always get in. It's simple, just like Jeff did, 256-576-4977. We've also got the WZZN TV chat going on right now as well. So if you can't get in on the phone lines, you can always hop in that way simply by going to WZZN TV on YouTube and or X, and you can type in your comment right there. Yeah. And so we are all good for every bit of that as well. But let's continue on the phone lines at 256-576-4977. Jason, welcome into the Blitz, man. How's it going?
Hey, I was doing pretty good. I heard the man from the borough. Now I'm sort of a little bit shaken.
See, I was confused which one was first, so I was like, oh, hopefully Jason can come in here and
Where's Taylor Mike at when I need him? I need a response from him. I about died laughing listening to him the other week doing his Jeff from the borough imitation.
I'm so confused. He starts taking shots at the Tennessee, and then he starts talking to me about it. Then he wants to know where the Tennessee fan is, and then I'm like, wait a second, he's here. You're talking to him, and he keeps going. And I'm like, all right.
First off, he thought I was also the Tennessee fan. I have a totally different voice than you. Like, I could get mixed up maybe with the Bandy Man, but like with you get that raspy voice going.
And Jason,
you
know, like I know. Look, we all get sick. Everybody's kind of getting sick around this. The weather's up and down. It's in the teens. It's in the 30s. It's in the 50s. It's back in the teens. Like we all get sick. I don't think my voice sounds that different today. I was just confused.
There's a difference in each one of y'all's voices.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, when you're colorblind, it's hard to recognize it.
That is true.
Dang.
It is. Yeah. When you're colorblind, it does affect your palate of your ears.
It's for your thoughts, your vision,
everything. It affects everything.
You know, Kentucky ain't had a good basketball coach since Tubby Smith run off.
That's a pretty hot take.
Well,
yeah, I mean, you take like Calipari. He got all the money in the world and done more cheating than any coach in NCAA basketball, and he only got one national championship. And then Tubby got the same amount of national championships. So I would say Tubby was the best basketball coach in Kentucky.
You know, and I see Coach Cal is he's more like a guy's first agent. Like, you know, there was that period of time where, you know, obviously we were saying that players weren't getting paid. And so it's hey, you know, you're the one and dones. You come here and I'll start kind of grooming you for what you're going to experience in the NBA. I kind of saw it a little bit more of that as, you know, not so much of a coach as in, hey, when you're here and in game one, we're going to be able to see a massive difference between game 1 and game 30. Like, I kind of see it more as hey, we're going to make a little tweak here and a little tweak there, but what we're really also going to focus on is making sure that you're getting into the spotlight just a little bit more than what, you know, so that you're getting seen and so that your stock will go up a little bit more. I kind of see him as that guy.
And as far as my man putting down the Detroit line, what they had, 15 wins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not 3 times more than the Kentucky football team had this year? Didn't Kentucky win 4?
And that's the sad thing is now you can win 15 games in college football.
Almost 4 times.
Yeah. No, and see that, but see, I think the part with him is it's more about I say delusion. That's what he wants to say is the delusion that Lions fans thought that this was their year when a lot of times we've seen this script over and over and over and it doesn't happen. I mean, look, I'm the one sitting here continuing to say that I think the best team that's still left in the playoffs is the Buffalo Bills. Like, yeah, I'm setting myself up for this.
I mean, let's just say they would have lost, though, if Mark Andrews came to play last night. And that's all I'm saying.
I don't know if they would have lost, but they at least would have went into overtime.
No, because there's we'll get into the conversation, but Jason, we'll continue with you.
That's an awful draw last night. You had the Ravens and the Chiefs in the round for that should have been the finals, but you got the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and now we get to see yet another Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, either in a way to get to the Super Bowl or, of course, what they have been in the past, those divisional matchups. So it's going to be yet another great matchup. But here's the thing. Is he going to be able to turn the corner and actually beat Kansas City? Because it used to be he couldn't get past this Baltimore team.
This is going to be either Michael Jordan versus the Bad Boy Pistons, or this is going to be Charles Barkley versus Michael Jordan. It's going to be one of the two. It's either going to be Jordan finally being able to beat the Pistons and then being able to win the championship, or it's going to be Charles Barkley never being able to win the championship because he couldn't beat Michael Jordan.
We're going to have a rookie quarterback make history.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That could actually happen. That offense they run the other night was great.
Yep.
Read option, and Detroit never bought in all night. And Detroit's a good ball team.
Yeah.
Detroit's biggest problem is they don't have a Super Bowl-type quarterback.
I agree with that, but I mean, this is a guy that has at least made it to the Super Bowl compared to some of these other quarterbacks. Whereas, of course, Jalen Hurts, been to the Super Bowl, lost. You look over at Patrick Mahomes, been to plenty of them. He's won most of them. He's lost one. And then, obviously, Josh Allen, who's still trying to get to his first as well. But it's definitely a team and a quarterback that is, I would say, on a different level, but I don't think they are unstoppable. But I do like the Commanders a lot this season. And
What was the records between the Commanders and Eagles this year? Was it 1-1?
Yeah,
It was 1-1. Both of them won on their home field.
However, in that second matchup, this was a Jalen Hurts-less team. This was the game that Jalen Hurts got injured, and of course we had to see. I think it was Henner come in and play that game. So it was still close.
Yeah, Tanner McKee.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I think Tanner McKee. Yeah, because he was the guy that he threw his first touchdown pass in his few years of the career. But still, it was a close game. So it shows you, like, this is a defense that at least has the Commanders' number.
Yeah.
Well, and they've seen each other
have a good
twice.
Monday, fellas.
Hey, thanks for that, Jason. No, they've seen each other twice. I mean, look, the thing about the college football playoff and the NFL playoff is we're sitting here thinking, oh, what if Bama and Georgia played each other twice? What if Georgia and Texas played each other 2 or 3 times? That's what we're literally getting in the Commanders and Eagles. They've already seen each other twice, and they're getting to see each other a third time, and they already know how each other plays. If anything, this is going to be the most intense matchup between the 2 conference championship games, just because they've already seen each other. Like, you can go back and look at how many times a team plays another team 3 times in a season, meaning obviously the 2 regular season games, and then turn around and play them in the playoffs. That third matchup is always going to be like the knockdown dragout because they know each other's stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they know everything about each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. I think we've gotten a good list of teams in the playoffs at this far in, whereas we're not getting those big margin of victories that we saw in the first round. We're seeing the Rams actually push the Eagles in Philadelphia. I mean, these are the games we've been wanting to see.
And look, this is the other thing about it, because let's look at the way college football is oh, Tennessee can't play in Ohio State because it's cold.
These are professionals we're talking about.
Oh, this team can't play because it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the Rams from?
L.A., and they play in a dome.
And I'm pretty sure it's even hotter in L.A. right now than what it normally is.
Damn, Joe.
Look, it's true. And they went to Philly, and they still almost won that game.
You know, it's the craziest thing. Matthew Stafford really got that full effect of the Tempur-Pedic bed. Oh. You get both sides of the country. You get both sides of the bed. He's just happy that his wife's happy.
That's all it is. He's just happy that his wife's happy. And that man seriously had this Rams team playing tremendous through a snowstorm and through everything else. And anybody that wants to look at, it's 28-22, and, you know, the game wasn't really as close as what you're saying. No, it really was.
It was, yeah, no.
This game was extremely close the entire way, through the snowstorms, through the half, through everything, through the bad calls and everything else that took place over the weekend. This game was extremely close, and it didn't matter about weather.
Yeah.
None of that stuff happens. Like, it's an idea of, we need to play these things on neutral sites, and just because we need to make sure that we have beautiful weather so that every team is equal, so nobody has an excuse.
Everybody loves a dome.
If the Rams would have won more games, they could have been hosting this game instead of Philly.
Oh, yeah.
If the Lions would have won and Philly wins, then Philly's having to go and play in the dome in Detroit. That's how rankings work and how records work. It doesn't matter that this game was played in the snow. We had multiple games played in the snow yesterday.
It was wonderful.
It was beautiful.
It was a winter wonderland.
Why is it that in NFL football, all NFL fans are like, I love this? And in college, it's like, we need to make sure that all the blades of grass are equal so that nobody has an excuse for these little boys to get hurt.
I've got a few ideas on why that might be the case, but we still have callers on the line.
We do, and let's take a break because we got 2 on hold. We want to give them enough time. One of those is Wolverine Dan. So he's calling in. He's already been called out. We're going to make sure that he does have time to talk about his Lions. Because, look, my heart hurts for the man. My heart hurts for every Lions fan because I was bought in.
Come on now.
Dude,
I
serious.
get it. You can't drink on that hopium and think that this is going to be the end result. We're too early in the playoffs, and this team didn't even get to play in the first round. So, of course, they get a little bit of a break. They play up against a new quarterback, and they have to see how they're yes, they should have won the game.
Don't get me started on first-round buys. I hate first-round buys.
But we're talking about a guy that's Wolverines, won the national championship last year. It's how it is being a sports fan. It's just how it is.
We come back. More of your phone calls, 256-576-977 here on the Blitz, here on this beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Monday.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A cold Monday challenging night ahead of us. Low temperatures will be falling into the lower teens for the overnight. We could see a few snow flurries after midnight as well. No accumulation expected. Wind chill values are expected to fall into the single digits, though. Heading into our Tuesday, we'll keep snow flurries in the forecast. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunshine. High temperatures warming into the low 30s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello, welcome back into the Morning Blitz. Lots of fun in the first hour, and it's just going to continue as we hop right back into the phone lines because we got a rebuttal. And I want to hear from him because it's the first time we're going to be hearing from him.
It's not just that it's a rebuttal. It's the fact that I think that a lot of the listeners on 97.7 and ESPN Winchester, we were going through this journey with Dan.
Yeah.
And whether it was positive or negative, we were going through this journey, and you were just sitting here because, look, the thing that got me into sports talk radio in the city of Huntsville was listening to somebody who was a humongous Boston Red Sox fan in 2004 as the Red Sox were going through the ALCS. And so I started wanting to listen and talk and pay attention to the games more because I kept hearing about his excitement level, and I felt more attached to it. So with us, Wolverine Dan, like, we're sitting here with, dude, I was heartbroken when this was happening. I'm not even going to lie. We were on the sidelines, or on the sidelines. I was on the bench with the Havoc. I'm getting the updates on my phone, and the more and more I kept seeing the updates, the sadder and sadder I got during the game for you.
So I'm assuming I'm on the air, correct?
Yeah,
you are. Yeah, you are, man. You're good.
Well, okay, first off, don't feel sorry for me, okay? First off, and I'll name it the reasons why. Number one, I'm the wacky underdog pick winner this year, okay?
There you go.
All right? And I know you guys got my address, and they say the check's in the mail. It'll be in the mail, and I'll get it. My wife and I will have a nice dinner, and I'll have a nice time playing golf. So, you know what? I feel good about that, all right? Now, that's number one. Number two, today, the sad part of today is I no longer will be Natty Danny. Today is the last day. It's been an honor and a privilege to have that title, and I don't think I should have it any further than today because there'll be a new champion, and I'm really hoping and pulling, and it probably sounds crazy being a Michigan man. I'm pulling for the Buckeyes. I want Big Ten to win. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I know there's Buckeye fans out there that will not ever pull for Michigan. I understand that. You don't have to. I'm not asking you to. But I've heard a lot of on this station, and other stations, people talking a lot about SEC this, SEC that. It really does mean something. So for me to hopefully win, Ohio State winning would be 2 years in a row. And that hasn't happened in a very long time. So that's a plus. That's a plus. Now, getting to the game, you got to understand something. This is not an excuse, but it's a fact that defensively, we were depleted. We had a lot of bad luck. Even in that game, there was one of our defensive backs broke his arm. And even in that game. So we've had some bad luck when it comes to breaks, issues, blown knees, and whatnot. So I want to say we had probably about 20 players this year off or out because of injuries, and a lot of it was on the defensive side. That's okay. I think when it comes to the game itself, we were in the game until basically the end, almost the end. But what I'm saying is I think with golf, when he played a good game, but I think what happened, if I'm not mistaken, in the second quarter, there was a interception for a touchdown.
Yes.
And I believe, gentlemen, that there was a targeting on golf, and if you saw the highlight of it or the rewind and showed it a couple times, he got hit pretty darn good and hit the turf pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
And then he had to go inside the locker room to get checked out, and he guess he passed concussion protocol. But do you really ever pass concussion protocol? I mean, you get hit like that, it kind of lingers. So
it rattles you. Yeah, it rattles you.
Yeah, and he threw a bunch of other interceptions after that. It was not his best game. He from time to time, or at least I know one time this year he had a game like that. So it happens, and I don't think he was at his best after that targeting. Now, should they have called it? I think they probably should have. But also, they called a penalty on Washington when Washington had when they what was it? It was Montgomery. They said that he had a face mask. There was a face mask, and it clearly showed it was not a face mask. So calls go either way in games like that. I understand that. I'm not going to say it's the ref's fault because it really wasn't, because they were equally bad on both sides sometimes and equally good at sides both times. But it's a disappointment. I wish you could have went further. I think hopefully next year we get healthy. I think we need to address some more defense, and if we can do that, our offense I think is fine, fellas. I think we just add more to the defense, draft the right people like we did past several years, and I believe our general manager is going to do a good job with that. And in my closing, it's not a total loss for this season, because T-minus a couple hours to 12 o'clock, our life's going to change, and we're all going to do really, really well, if you know what I'm talking about.
I do. TikTok's back. I do. Yeah, TikTok's back. It was great.
No. It's about the Donald. The Donald's coming back, and things are going to be just fine, everybody. So in closing, I've enjoyed it. And you know what? When the season's over, no matter how you finish, there's always next year.
No doubt.
And I like the way our team played. I like the ownership, the way the daughter's doing a good job with this team. General manager's doing a good job. Coach is a good coach. We're going to lose our own coordinators, which is going to hurt, but there are other coordinators out there, and we'll see how it plays out. But thanks for giving me the opportunity. And I'm not devastated, guys. It's going to be fine.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. We appreciate it. It was funny. We couldn't hear the broadcast while we were watching inside the VBC, and Steve on the air goes, "Why are they circling how much time is left in the game?" And I said, "Oh, so that's just Tom Brady circling how much time Ben Johnson has left until he's the Raiders head coach."
I still think that has something to do with the way this team also played in this game.
Okay.
Maybe just a little bit.
Help me out with
There's
this.
no tampering, but still,
I've watched this about 50 times. When we come back, help me out with the whole Jared Goff hit. Like, why are we saying that should be a penalty?
Well,
I'm just curious.
He did get smacked. I will say that.
I know, but we'll talk more about it when we come back on the Blitz coming up in a few seconds.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Saturday, Alabama men's basketball picked up a 102-97 win against 8th-ranked Kentucky. Here's the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates.
couldn't be more proud of a group of guys after the poor showing on Tuesday to kind of bounce back and play the way we did here today. I mean, this is a really good team we beat. They're a high-powered offensive team. They, we gave up too many threes there late, but up until we were, up whatever, we were up there 9, I think, or whatever it was, 8 or 9 there at the end of the game. I thought we'd done a pretty good job outside of the one stretch where we'd given up the 5 in the first half. So
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Nate Oates Show, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at Baumhauer's Victory Grill at 6 p.m. Central in Tuscaloosa. Hey Coach is available to listen to across our radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as a video stream on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready for when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
AlDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the Algo app and through local media. Brought to you by AlDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Plenty of sunshine expected for this Monday. High temperatures only going to rise into the mid and upper 20s for the afternoon. Heading into our Monday night, a little bit of snow flurries could be a possibility. No accumulation expected. Low temperatures going to be falling into the lower teens for the overnight, and it looks like we'll continue to sit under a partly cloudy sky. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham.
That's me.
You can obviously always also watch us on WZZN TV. Just follow us on X at 977 ESPN. Follow us on YouTube at WZZN TV as well. And that's where we're going to have the Havoc Hour tomorrow night, which is going to be coming off of 24 hours after the last Havoc game, because the team is actually in Birmingham, because coming up here in about 3 hours, they're going to be taking on the Birmingham Bulls.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun little rivalry game. In-state rivalry.
It's not a fun little rivalry.
That's a fun little rivalry.
It's an intense little rivalry, is the best way to say that.
I mean, one way to say it, I would say, when I see a good matchup, like Alabama versus Kentucky in SEC play, of course, that was a fun game. And I wouldn't say it's a rivalry, but I will say that it was a fun game, back and forth, down the court. That's what we'll probably get out of the Havoc and, of course, the Bulls tonight.
It gets extremely heated, and especially with the closeness of these two teams, the history that they have. It's going to be a heated one down in Pelham. So that game is going to be happening at 1 o'clock. You'll be able to watch it on Flow Hockey. Other thing that's happening is Brett McMurphy is just now letting everybody, or should say, is announcing right now that the college football playoff idea for the next few sites that they are going to have for the national championship game, where tonight obviously it is in Atlanta. Next season it is going to be in Miami. So the question's kind of been, all right, where is it going to happen after that? Now, it is supposed to be in Las Vegas on 2027 or in 2027.
Beautiful stadium.
It's going to be in NOLA in 2028. Yeah.
It's aging. It's getting up there.
It is. It'll be back in Miami in 3030. But now in 2029, it was originally supposed to be in Dallas.
Put it in Nashville.
But instead, it is actually going to be in Tampa.
Damn.
Now, I would assume
Tampa, really?
It's going to be back in Tampa. Dallas was supposed to have it, but apparently they have scheduling conflicts. It's amazing that AT&T Stadium has scheduling conflicts in 2029 when it's only 2025.
Yeah, you feel like you'd maybe be able to set something up in Jerry's world. But, it's whatever. I don't know. The thought of a game, in the future being inside of a stadium that isn't a dome is honestly surprising to me. And obviously the weather is going to be great. But
we got to make sure every single blade of grass is even.
Yeah, everyone.
We got to make sure that everybody is nice and hydrated.
But why are we taking it back to Raymond James Stadium? It doesn't hold as many people as some of these other, domed stadiums. And on top of that, I feel like it is going to be a little bit more aged by then.
A lot of this has to do with hotel availability and things along those lines, which is, again, Jacksonville, part of the reason why they are going to be doing what they're doing to their stadium, which they're doing something that a lot of teams never do, and that is they're basically just putting a roof on their current stadium.
Yeah, but it's going to look sick.
It is going to look sick. They're going to they're redesigning their entire stadium. They're going to be tearing some stuff down, and they're going to be adding a roof onto the stadium, which is good because, Jacksonville in August is really not that fun. No. But it also allows you to also have the national championship games and all that. They had a Super Bowl in the past, back in the early 2000s, and they are kind of wanting to have some more of those, but the facilities and everything is part of what the NFL looks at. So that's the reason why they're doing that. National championship, exact same way. The new Nissan Stadium is supposed to be opening up in 2027.
That's a new location.
And so that's going to be a new location, but the first opportunity that they would have would be the 2028 national championship. So really there's only like 3 in front of them because they're having to schedule so far in advance. And I do know for a fact that Nashville has put together packages to try to not only have the national championship, to have the Final Four in one of its first events that is probably going to have in the first calendar year is going to be a WrestleMania. They're going to have a lot of events at the brand new Nissan Stadium whenever it does open up. So,
and it's going to be amazing because that stadium, at least the concept, obviously, it's already getting the construction done on it. It looks like it's going to be a great venue to move forward. I would say the last great venue that was put up was the Las Vegas Stadium. I think, what is it? It's not SoFi. It's SoFi. No, it might be SoFi.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not SoFi.
But it is. I get it mixed up with the LA Stadium as well. But the Las Vegas, where the Raiders play, I think that's one of those stadiums. Allegiant Stadium. There you go. That is one of those great coliseums that is brand new, and you can host some of these games in it, and it's always going to look wonderful.
Well, and also the area that is around it. Trust me, Vegas has enough hotels.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. And the area around where the stadium is they're starting to move down even further towards California, as I would say. So they're moving further west down that interstate because a lot of that stuff on the Strip, they've already went as far east as they kind of want to. So now they want to kind of go west, and all that was desert.
Yeah.
So now they've been able to add Allegiant. They are going to be, whenever it finally gets finalized, they're going to have the brand new Las Vegas A's Stadium, which is going to be like literally right across from the MGM Grand. It's a tremendous venue. It is a great area and all those sorts of things. So that's part of what's happening. What's also happening, obviously, is the national championship tonight. And let me ask you, what is one of, when we talk about the flags being thrown, because we're about to talk about Jared Goff and the hit and if it should or shouldn't have been a flag, all of that. But what is one of the flags that we see most often in college football? What are the penalties that we see?
I would say holding. I would say face mask. You can throw that. Offsides, neutral zone infraction. I would say those would probably be the mainstays.
Yeah, like pass interference and
all
those.
Pass interference. Throw that one in there as well.
So some people have done a study on the plays and the penalties that have been called on Ohio State and against Ohio State opponents.
Okay, we're breaking it down.
We're kind of breaking it down that way. It's like, well, what could or may not happen that would actually, cause Notre Dame to be able to win because of a penalty that does or doesn't get called. There is one penalty that opponents who have played Ohio State have not had called on them since September 21st of the football season.
Can I guess this one?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Roughing the passer.
So 728 plays from scrimmage have happened against Ohio State, and this one penalty has not been called in any of those plays.
I already made my guess. Roughing the passer.
Is actually offensive holding.
Wow. What?
The last time offensive holding was called on an opponent of Ohio State was Marshall on September 21st.
So it was one of those first games of the season type of things. And you're working out the kinks and all that.
728 snaps have went against the Ohio State defense without a holding call called on the offense.
I already was going to give the offensive line credit because you're not allowing anybody to hit your quarterback at any time. But, I mean, the holding, that is very impressive.
Because how many times is that? I mean, heck, how many times that happened in the college football video game? Like, it happens like 17.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just to think that holding has not been called on an opponent of Ohio State in 728 snaps.
I'm looking at you, Cleveland. You got to make the right decision. Get some offensive linemen and only get them from Ohio State.
I thought you were just going to say, no, it's the opponents.
Oh.
It's everybody that's played Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It's everybody that's went up against the Ohio State defense.
Gotcha.
So every single team that they have played this season after Marshall, none of them have had a holding call called on them.
Do you think it's because they just can't get a hold of this defensive line then? Since we're flipping this?
Since we're flipping it? They're like, oh, yeah, well, you can't get a holding call if you can't touch them. So that means, okay, so going back to this, I've pulled this up. So September 21st, Ohio State beat Marshall 49-14. Since then, Ohio State has played Michigan State, Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State, Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, Michigan, Tennessee, Oregon again, and Texas. No holding calls in any of those games against the offense of the opponents.
Well, do I say credit to the Big Ten? I mean, what do I do there?
I know, you see, it's like, wait, really? It's one of those weird stats that you just say, wait, they really haven't called holding? Like, how many times does that ruin an offensive possession?
Yeah.
If they have a holding call.
And a lot of the times there's holding on every single play. So even if it came down to it, you could still throw a flag and just say, hey, there was holding on that
There's holding.
play.
So if holding happens against Notre Dame, just remember this stat because, again, holding has not been called against an opponent playing Ohio State in 728 snaps.
That's history.
It has.
It feels like history.
No, and so here is an interesting thing because there are reports coming out now because obviously the Lions season is over.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive and defensive coordinators can now do even more interviews for jobs, and so there's a thought that Ben Johnson is going to be leaving the Lions to become a head coach somewhere. And what is happening is Dan Campbell has said that Jared Goff is going to have significant input on the next offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He just didn't have significant input on a call that may or may not have actually happened in the game on Saturday. Now, the reason I bring this up mainly has to do with the fact that a lot of people are kind of asking this question of why didn't this get called?
Okay.
So, and I'm curious as to what people are thinking about it, mainly because it is something that we have been wondering because it is a quarterback. And as a matter of fact, if you're watching WZZN TV right now, we actually do have the call up so that you can kind of look at this and just kind of see exactly what we're talking about. And it was Jared Goff with about 5 minutes to go in the game, throws an interception to the Commanders. They run it back for a pick six, but right before the Commanders get to the goal line, Goff was lit up by a hit. And people are wondering, why was Jared Goff not given the benefit of the doubt and get called for a legal hit?
And I see what people are getting at, okay? I really do, because whenever you see the defender, obviously Jared Goff is now the defender, but number 4 comes up, and he lowers his head. And it was a big hit. If you just saw it on TV, you just know that he got his bell rung. But you see number 4 kind of lower his head, but then he kind of pushes off, all right? So whenever he pushes off, that's whenever it's like, oh, well, the ref might not have saw that, the initial impact, but it was right, and if you're watching that WZZN, you're getting the full effect of this thing. It was right there, okay? So he leans his head down, and Jared Goff, of course, a lot taller.
Back and to the right.
He's a little bit taller than most of these other guys on the field, especially the defensive backs. But you see there's this hit right here, and I say that
you're going straight John Madden on this. Do you not have like a marker or something that you
I
can
wish
go
I
on
did.
this?
I wish I did. You can see my mouse though.
Yeah, you're moving your mouse around on the WZZN TV, and I'm like, you are fully going in on the whole thing. I mean, all we need now is you to just go boom every once in a while, and
Boom.
we got a John Madden play.
It's in my name.
But
Joe.
it's in my name. Just continue.
But
yeah.
you see right here, there's that little hit right there, all right? And I'm trying to get it perfectly for everybody watching. But it's that initial hit, and it's not at the head region. Now, it is kind of in the shoulder area. I would say it's right around the NFL logo on the jersey. But that's the initial reason why, even looking at it after the fact, so it's not the initial reason, but it's the after effect, that you look at it, you see it, you think that it might be something. It's not, all right? And at the end of the day, that was the call that the refs make, and I think it was the best call to make there because that would have taken away a huge momentum swing for a team that's already playing in Detroit. So let me just play it one more time for you if you're watching.
Yeah, but you have to be on WZZN TV because now we're adding video to some of the description that's going on of Goff throwing the interception and the Commanders running it back. Now look, if they called an illegal hit on this, it backs this play up to about let's see, the hit happens on the 6th, so they would have backed it up to I want to say it's a 10-yard penalty, so it would have been back to the 16, and they still have 5.5 minutes, and they have first down in the red zone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that it changes anything. The biggest thing that it changed was for the Lions because Goff had to go into concussion protocol, and he had to pass concussion protocol, which meant that Teddy Bridgewater, a guy that was literally coaching high school football like a month ago.
Man was on the couch. Let's just say this. He was chilling on the couch after we won this high school
He wasn't on a
championship.
couch, but he was not, he was in football shape. Pretty sure that if they ever said, all right, guys, we're going to do some scrimmages, I'm all-time quarterback, pretty sure that the team was going to do okay.
No.
But he was coaching high school football a month ago, and he's now in the division round getting his very first snaps because he was the emergency quarterback.
Yeah, and it goes from, I've got a former NFL quarterback as my head coach, too. No, I have an NFL quarterback as my head coach.
Yeah, it's not former.
He might be a backup.
This isn't like Phillip Rivers down in Mobile. Like, This is a quarterback that people were just calling and said, hey, man, you want to come back? And even Bridgewater's thinking, heck, this line seems amazing. I may have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl.
I know. It's something he hasn't been able to do
I get a
before.
state championship and a Super Bowl ring at the exact same time.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Yeah.
Especially after what's all went down in my career. Like, yes, that's fantastic. But also don't forget that in that exact situation we go back almost 24 years ago, similar situations would happen to Tom Brady and Drew, and you had Drew Bledsoe come in and come back in and help the Patriots win the game that they were playing just so that they could get to the next round.
Yep.
So, it's not uncommon, or, it has happened where a story like this takes place. But what hurt this team more was Goff getting knocked out. And honestly, just like Dan said, he wasn't the same after that.
No.
He wasn't. And look, before anybody says, oh, well, the Lions, didn't do the test and they just got him back on the field. Like, he didn't really pass the test. He just got back on the field.
This is 2025.
No, the concussion protocol test now is not done by the NFL.
Yeah.
It is done by an independent doctor that is not paid by the NFL, that has no skin in the game, and their job is to do an honest analysis of this, and they will pull the cord on this if they want to.
Now, I'm not trying to say that they wouldn't, but we have seen also at times the whole Tua situation, of course. That is a totally different story. But also,
this is the reason why the Tua situation happens.
There could be some strings that are being pulled.
Like, this is the reason why Tua and him going back into the game is what got all of this going on in the first place. Because, look, guys, and I know it just came out. Matter of fact, I want to say yesterday was like the 25-year anniversary or 26-year anniversary of the movie Varsity Blues coming out, which, John, if you have not seen it, just turn the mic off and walk away. Well, don't walk away because I need you to push
No,
buttons.
I'll do that.
But no, come back.
That's what I thought. That's
Have
what I
you
thought.
really not seen Varsity Blues?
I saw the one where the guy has the like a little heat stroke on the field, and then this other dude pulls out a huge pipe, like a very cold pipe, and it's the fastest way to get. No, I haven't watched Varsity Blues.
No, I was wondering what you were talking about because that doesn't sound like Varsity Blues at all. That
I think it
sounds
might
like
be
something
Blue
on
Mountain
an illegal website.
It might be Blue Mountain State.
Blue Mountain State?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely not Varsity
Wait,
Blues.
is Varsity Blues the one with Keanu Reeves?
That's The Replacements.
Okay.
Also an amazing movie.
Okay, because I haven't watched that one.
There are
either.
very few movies that have fake teams involved in them that are supposed to be about the NFL that is any good. But The Replacements is an amazing movie. Okay. And it actually makes Keanu Reeves, you think of him as a real quarterback.
Okay.
I would take if Falco has any sort of eligibility left, I'll take him at Auburn right now. I would. No, I mean he is. So, but in Varsity Blues, we all remember, hey, just shoot it up. He's good to go. Let's get him back on the field. Okay? Like, let's go. And again, Yorkie is in the chat right now quoting Varsity Blues. How you have never seen this hurts my heart.
I've got homework.
Yes, you
as
do
they've
have
said.
homework. No, you have homework. We've got to figure out where Varsity Blues is at, what streaming service, and you need to watch it.
Hulu. Okay.
Hulu has it?
Should be
Perfect.
easy.
Good. Go watch it on Hulu tonight. That's your thing. Instead of watching the national championship, go watch Varsity Blues.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep, sounds like a plan. Now, we all know about the doctors that are like, hey, just get him back in the game. Do whatever you need to do to get him back in the game. That's not the case in the NFL anymore. In the NFL now, it's a, hey, get him back in the game. Sir, I'll do what is best for the player. You're not paying me. Like, that's one of those things. Like, I'm going to make the decision on my own. That's an independent doctor.
Yeah.
And so, trust me, in the red hat is because that's normally the hat that they're wearing. They will pull a player without even thinking twice. I've seen it happen so many times. It has nothing to do with if golf or he didn't. He passed concussion protocol, but he just wasn't the same.
Yeah. You still might be a little cross-eyed after that type of hit. And, of course, it led to a few more interceptions. But at the end of the day, it was a little bit of a double entendre. All right? I'll throw out some of that. Because it wasn't just that Jared Goff was a little shaken up and he couldn't get the offense going. They still scored 31 points. I mean, this is still the Detroit Lions offense. Just a little limited. But the defense also could not stop the Commanders in no way, shape,
Well,
or form.
I think that's what it was. It was more about is the fact that Jane Daniels not only just had 299 yards passing, but he also had 51 yards rushing. You had Brian Robinson had almost 100 yards rushing.
Got the
he
run
had 2
game going.
touchdowns.
I said it.
McNichols had a touchdown as well. That's where it was. Okay, the interception was just and here's what's bad. You can't even truly blame the interception because literally the very next drive after the interception, they scored another touchdown. Like the Lions went back down and scored another touchdown. Like, so it wasn't there. It was the second half that you need to look at. It's not even what happened after the hit.
Yeah.
It was the second half. Like, that's the part that I'm blown away by. Like, I'm just, what? So it sucked. And I know Wolverine Dan is calling in and he's saying, hey, I'm fine and it's great. But I seriously fell into this whole, man, how amazing would it be to see this happen? And before anybody like rolls their eyes about it, think about what we have seen in the last, we'll just say 30 years. Or, let's just say 30. Between the Red Sox winning the World Series, not once, not twice, they've done it 3 times. Between them winning the World Series, the Cubs winning the World Series, you see those things alone. We've had teams like the Milwaukee Bucks win the NBA championship. You have had, even in hockey, literally like a franchise that had barely even been on, the ice was barely even frozen. Trust me, what happened in Huntsville was basically what happened there. Like the ice wasn't even fully frozen in Las Vegas. And look at how great that team's become. Mm-hmm. We're in an era now where teams who have never won or have not won in 20 or 30 or 40 or even 50 years is winning. Let's not forget when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2019, they hadn't won a Super Bowl since like Super Bowl 4. Yeah. Like it wasn't, like it seriously had been over 50 years since they had won. So let's not act, we're not in a generation where things that have not happened in decades aren't happening now. And with the way the Lions have been, this is not your same Lions team. So I was buying into this thought of how amazing would it have been to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. And it still may be amazing to see the Bills win a Super Bowl. But I'm buying into the hype one way or the other. But, then we also have a national championship game tonight where one team won a championship, a few years ago, and then you have another championship for a team that hasn't won one since, heck, I think I was 4 years old.
86, I think that was the date.
Okay, I was 3 years old.
There you go.
I mean, that's how long it's been. I was 3 years old. And it was the last time that Notre Dame won a national championship. So which way is this going to go? 256-576-977. Your comments are rolling in on X as well as WZZ and TV. Get those there as we continue this morning on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and The Blitz.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone with my friend Brandon Pilcher from Pilcher's Appraisals. Brandon, what exactly do you do?
Steve, I'm an appraiser. I can value a property for you if you're potentially going to sell, and that valuation could also be used to help you with your property taxes.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. You can contact him at 706-936-3766. Call or text.
Got about 33 minutes left. And the little bit and the little bit. Is that what it is? That's what I get for trying to read a text message and also talk at the exact same time.
Grammar be our strong
No,
suit.
it's definitely not our strong suit.
This is
at
a radio.
all.
This is a local talk show here in Huntsville, Alabama. We're not going to be perfect at what we
Look,
throw at
and
you.
it also amazes me because now one of the things that I was weakest at, I would say probably even 3 months ago, was learning how to pronounce names. Like, I'm horrible at name pronunciation.
And now we both get thrown into this show to
now,
throw out names.
Exactly, and even a player for the Macon Mayhem has his name. He has an Asian name, and I didn't know if he was Japanese or Chinese word, so that's the reason I said Asian. But Tao Ishizuka, and so I was saying it, and so even when I would say it to Steve, Steve's like, and there's shot, but I was like, yeah, great job by Tao Ishizuka. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. The only reason I know this is because I've been focusing so much on Japanese and Asian names because of the video games that I'm playing now, that now it's just a little bit different. And so it's kind of a unique little thing when it comes to trying to learn how to say everything this way. But English, not my best my best place of coming from. But what's really bad about it is that that's kind of what we do for a living. And that's where now we're talking about the NFL playoffs as well as the national championship happening tonight. You're going to be able to listen to the national championship tonight immediately following Hey Coach, because Hey Coach is on from 6 to 7. And then right when that wraps up, we're going to be sending it to Atlanta for the national championship game. So with the way that all the introductions and everything else is going on, you're not going to miss very much of the game at all. Unless it's like a Georgia TCU situation, then you basically miss the entire game. Because again, I remember driving home from Nashville during the Georgia TCU game, and by the time I got I would say by the time I even got to Columbia, Tennessee, it was already like 24-0, and I'm like, well, there's no reason for me to even pay attention to the rest of this game.
And I don't think
at all.
I don't think that's what we're going to get tonight. Definitely not. I mean, we're talking about two well-established programs going up against each other, whereas for those past few games we've seen in the national championship, we have gotten teams like TCU, which is like, we always think back to that one because that was the biggest blowout we've ever seen.
And it was also, I think it was also because it was one of those teams that wasn't your quote-unquote norms.
No. And the same thing, though, could be thrown at a Washington team. It was the same type of story. We see a coach getting hot with a team that just has the right players in the right time, and they were able to find the dub. This is the same thing I think of when I think of a Battle Royale game, all right? So I'm going to put this into video game terms, and we're going to break it down.
Oh, now this is – please, go on.
So this is how it is. Whenever you're decent at a game, you don't have to be amazing. You're playing up against a lot of guys that are professionals. They end up destroying each other, and then you get down to the Final Four, and then if everything just kind of falls into place the way it needs to, where another team might, squad wipe another squad, then you're down to 3 teams.
You had a lot of us until you said squad wipe.
And then you see the 2 teams facing off against each other, and then you get in there at the perfect time. You take out the last 2 guys, and then you get that battle royale. I was playing a lot of Apex yesterday.
I could tell.
That is the exact same thing that happened with those 2 teams.
So are you saying that TCU got squad wiped?
No, I'll say that TCU was able to get in that perfect position, but then they weren't able to get it done whenever it came down to that last squad, and it could have just been one dude, but he was a level, 128. He's triple gold and everything that he does. I mean, I would say platinum.
What's
I don't
really
know
funny
exactly.
is I know that right now anybody probably over the age of 50 that's listening to you going, what in heaven's name is he talking about?
But it's in the perspective.
But then he turns around and his nephew or his grandson that's to his right's like, oh, I know exactly what he's saying.
He's like, I love sports now.
Wait a second. They talk about video games here?
Yes, that's the point of the show.
And that's like with the Washington Commanders, for instance, because we see the Eagles – and we're like, hey, they played in a Super Bowl. Like, okay, obviously they've been to the Super Bowl. They won one a few years ago. They played in another one. Like, that team makes sense. Hey, the Buffalo Bills, they have one of the best players in the NFL in Josh Allen. They're playing fantastic right now. They're obviously one of these teams that has the history they do. But you know what? They've been good for the last few years. But then comes the Commanders. Woo! And you're just looking at them going, what are you doing?
The legacy
Why are you even here?
Has to begin. And people, I hate it. I hate that people are throwing out Mark Andrews ruining the legacy of Lamar Jackson because that's not the truth.
No.
He already solidified his legacy.
Look,
He's an amazing quarterback.
There is not one person in America today that should be saying that Lamar Jackson did not show up in the playoffs.
Because he did exactly what he needed to.
The man threw – no, not only did he do exactly what he needed to do, this man got the football – down by 8 with how many minutes? Like, how many minutes was left on
I
the
believe there's
no.
only 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, there
at
was
the
a
most.
minute and
There you
33.
go.
Okay, there was a minute and 33 left in the game. And what happens is, or I apologize. There was a minute and 50, or there was 3 minutes and 29 seconds. I just pulled it up.
Okay.
There's 3 minutes and 29 seconds left. They are down by 8. They only have, I want to say, 1 timeout, maybe 2. This was the perfect situation for him to get the football and either fumble it on a run, throw an interception because he got greedy and threw it into double or triple coverage.
Yep. Feeling the pressure, of course.
Absolutely. Or drop back and make a bad pass because he was trying to force something and he got rushed.
Yeah.
These were every one of those things for Lamar Jackson.
Baker Mayfield would have done it.
Yeah.
Any other quarterback might have done it.
And instead,
Except for Pat
he
Mahomes.
drives 88 yards and he scores a touchdown and then turns around on a 2-point conversion, finds the open man after killing time in the pocket, hits him in the chest.
Oh, it was a little bit behind him.
Well, it wasn't. No, I mean, it was only behind him because what happened is he watched the play. Mark Andrews slips.
Yeah.
His foot, instead of getting his cleat down, it was the side of his shoe, and he slips. That's the reason why he was falling down when he made the catch.
Here's the
trying
thing.
to make the catch.
On that play right there, it was trying to be stay in bounds, catch the ball, and don't catch it out of bounds. Don't have your knee touch out of bounds or anything like that. For Mark Andrews, he was doing just that. He got into the position to catch it. If it was a little bit in front of him, maybe he would have still dropped it. But at the same time, you give him a better opportunity to catch it. Now, I will say this. It wasn't his first drop of the game. He dropped 2 of them earlier. And then on top of that, the man had a huge pickup that could have just won the game already. It would have gotten in the lead. But he fumbles it because the guy comes in and just half-cocks it out of his hands.
Well, and I was reading the comments at the time. Were you talking about Lamar's fumble or Mark Andrews'
Talking about Mark Andrews'
okay,
fumble.
because even Lamar at the very beginning of the game, early on, driving, he drops back. He tries to make a play because the pocket is closing down.
It was a bad snap, too, so
And
that
it was
threw
a bad
everything off.
snap, so it threw everything off. And next thing you know, he fumbles the football, and the Bills get it back, and they drive down the field and score a touchdown.
They didn't really have to drive too far. Von Miller did most of the work.
But what I'm saying is that nobody can ever say that Lamar Jackson did not show up in these playoffs. If anything, this is one of those scenarios that I would almost equip that very similar to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Where you could tell that
It really
Lamar
was.
Jackson figured it out. Because look, believe it or not, and you can ask any single quarterback that has ever played in a college football playoff game, that has ever played for a national championship, that has ever played in the NFL, you have got to figure out how to learn to win in the playoffs. You do. And even for Mahomes, when Mahomes lost to Tom Brady in his very first AFC championship game, you could tell he figured it out of this is what I need to do. I don't need to force things. Take what comes to me, and we're either going to drive down the field slowly or something's eventually going to open up and we're going to make the big play. And that's what Lamar did. You saw the patience that he had not had in the previous ones. And that goes along with the fact that I promise you put Derrick Henry in some of these situations, that man's getting you 2 or 3 yards. I am shocked that the Ravens have not used a tush push with him.
I'm very shocked as well. And on that 2-point try, I'm shocked they didn't try to go to Derrick Henry because he was starting to really start cooking at the end of this game.
And the part of it is the thing that makes Derrick Henry great is also his downfall because the moment he's on the field, just like he wasn't on the field for the touchdown. Yeah. He wasn't because they knew that he wasn't going to be an option.
Brings too much eyes.
He brings too many eyes to him. And look, this is why whenever this happens, okay, because he's eventually going to retire and the discussion is going to come if Derrick Henry is a Hall of Famer or not. He is. And the one stat that if you want to talk about sabermetrics and you want to talk about analytics, I want you to look at how many times Derrick Henry has had to face an 8+ box compared to the rest of the NFL. That man, I promise you, if you put his amount of times he's facing 8+ box, which means 8 men in the box or more, just trying to stop him on the run compared to the rest of the NFL, it's almost double the amount of times he's had to face that. That alone is the stat that you go, he was still getting 1,000 and 2,000 yards with 8 in the box.
256-5764.
97.7.
The number 2 hop in. Sorry, Joey. I queued that up a different.
No, you did. No, you
Regardless of
did.
that.
And I was also going back and reading our comments that are coming in right now.
Before we hop into the phone lines, we got Brandon on with us. But when we get to that, I do want to throw this out there, Joe. You say you got to learn how to win in the playoffs. You got to learn how to win in crunch time. At the last 3 minutes, last 2 minutes, that 2-minute drill, most important thing for a quarterback, similar to you don't think about the kickers, but they are some of the most important players on the field. For a guy like Lamar Jackson, he's able to get past that. For a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he's known for that. You know who's finding success already in the NFL that is really good at comebacks, really late in games? Jaden Daniels. A guy that we can also look back to, finding success, 2 wins now, joins a very select few that are able to do it. He's able to do it in his first season. That's the craziest thing. And I think that this is one of those times where we didn't think it'd come this early with somebody who's a rookie. We thought maybe that C.J. Stroud would push through this season, maybe given another year. But this is a guy that's building his legacy off of the fact that he can show up in those moments because the game's slowed down. But that's a conversation for another day.
There's a lot deeper reason for the reason why Jaden Daniels is the way that he is, and it's extremely interesting. But, yeah, that's going to be something that we definitely need to talk about tomorrow. So let's go back to the phone lines. Brandon, welcome into the Blitz, man. How's it going?
Man, I left shoot-around over here at Spring Garden, headed to Anniston, and stopped and talked to him, and I said, I just want y'all to know something. I said, in the event that this game gets played Saturday, I said, right now it's not looking like that. I said, if Steve and Scott don't make it, I said, you are not getting shortchanged on an announcer for the game. I said, I just want y'all to know that. I said, Joe does some really good calls with the Havoc, and if y'all win state championship, y'all need to go up there and see a Havoc game. And Coach said, we might make that a team event. We might go up there.
No, and first off, I appreciate you saying that because the only reason that I even get to do any of these is because Steve actually believes in me to be able to do a lot of this stuff. So, no, I deeply appreciate it. And, yes, you are telling the truth. If for some reason the games – and here's my question because, again, I haven't been paying attention to the forecast. What is the reason that this game may get moved to Saturday?
They were worried a little bit about the snow, but after what Spawn put out earlier today, I think we're going to be fine because Hazel Green is at Scottsboro today.
Yes.
And they were just going to spend the night and come on down. And so they were worried about, coming down and then it being a little snowy and trying to leave out of there late in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But it appears that they're thinking it's going to go south and it's going to be clear from Claiborne County up. So I'm thinking we're going to get it in.
Okay, no, that's why I was asking that question is because we've got a few events that are taking place. I know that obviously, like you were talking about, you do have the Spring Garden Hazel Green game. It's supposed to happen tomorrow. That may get moved to Saturday. The Havoc have a game on Sunday afternoon as well that could be affected by this because Steve and Scott are going to be at Valdosta with UAH, and so they're trying to figure out if Steve would even get back for he and I to double team this. Like it was, kind of like what we did Saturday night. So there's a lot of moving parts to this week, but trust me, if it comes to be that I need to make my way to Spring Garden, I'm more than willing to, and I would be excited to be able to do that game if Scott and Steve can't get there and that thing gets changed from tomorrow to Saturday.
Well, Valdosta is going to take one on the mouth tomorrow. They're talking 2 to 6 inches of snow tomorrow.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, Panama City schools in Florida closed. Bay County closed.
Oh, that's really fun. Yeah, see, that's the thing is I didn't think anything about the weather because I thought it was supposed to happen like over like yesterday and today. So I was like, oh, okay, we're good. What was everybody freaking out about? And now I'm starting to hear you talk. I'm like, oh, wait, we need to pay attention to this just a little bit more. Never mind, I didn't know.
Well, it's funny to think that we're going to have school here tomorrow, but possibly on Wednesday they will not have it in Panama City, Florida.
Yeah, because of the weather.
Yeah, they haven't had snow in Tampa since Dan was born, but it's looking like it might happen.
That is wild. No, that is absolutely wild. So yeah, no, I need to pay attention to it now because again, I thought everybody was in the clear. So I didn't think about it. Plus, again, it's going to be such a big game. And for a lot of people that help this out, because I'm kind of one of these and I'm learning about it. Obviously, I live in Hazel Green. I know the history with Hazel Green women's basketball and how good that team is. But, like, why is this such a big deal for Spring Garden and Hazel Green to be playing each other tomorrow night?
Well, you're putting 2 teams on the floor that have just come off a championship that are likely headed back to another championship. So they're putting 19 titles between two coaches on the floor at the same time. And you've got the biggest 6A, most accomplished program in the state that's already going to be close, and they're traveling to Little Old Spring Garden and going to take them on head-to-head. And what makes it great is Tim Miller is so secure in his legacy of who he is that he can just go seek a game out like this just because of his competitive nature. If he goes down there tomorrow night and is not victorious, it invalidates nothing about his accomplishments and who he is and what he's done. And when you can get coaches to just want to put together good matchups that turn heads, that's when sports is in a good place. When it's not posturing or worried about getting beat, he's just like, hey, we don't run from big teams. We're not going to run from little teams. He is just confident in who he is at all times, and he's basically putting together a head-to-head matchup where nobody's ever seen this many titles against two coaches together on the floor at the same time anywhere that I know of. Not just in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. I don't know anybody that's ever put two teams together, that especially that big of a distance between the two, 1A and 6A, in just an impromptu regular season game with that kind of championship implications between two coaches that accomplished. And right now, Rick Austin is circling the 1,000-win mark.
Wow.
He will get it next year.
And I remember Scott brought this up to me last week. He brought it to my attention. And I was shocked that it was going down because, like you said, it is a huge separation from a 6A and a 1A. But there are a lot of wins behind these two coaches. And, of course, I even got to see Hazel Green 2 years ago. I believe it was the first run we saw Caleb Holt and Buckhorn win. I got to see Hazel Green girls basketball win the championship. So that was one of those things where I noticed this team, and then I was like, I'm not forgetting about this team. And, of course, the RCAs, we've also given some love to them from there as well.
Well, Hazel Green's got some guards on that girls team. They would probably give some boys in 1A and 2A a run for their money.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Those guys, look, some of those girls, I've seen some of those that have graduated from Hazel Green like the last year or two that have played on teams that UAH has played like in the last few weeks. And the moment they step on the court, I just go, yep, pay attention to her because she's about to ball.
It's the aura.
There's some girls on that team that are physical. They can really put the ball down, and it's going to be interesting to see what the strategy is in that game amongst these two teams. I got a feeling that Hazel Green is just going to do what they do, but I got an idea that maybe Spring Garden is going to kind of be a little different with their ball handling and their shot selection and how deep they go into the shot. Well, I would say shot clock, but how deep they go into moving the ball around looking for the open person.
Hey, I mean, look,
that size is going to dictate what you do.
Yep. No, and trust me, I mean, there's another guard in Florence in Bell Hill that I promise you, watching her play a few weeks ago, like we did in the Huntsville City Classic, it was, or not the Huntsville City Classic, but it was after the Huntsville City Classic that they were playing. It was Mars Bible that I believe it was playing Huntsville. I promise you, she could get on that court tomorrow night as well, and she could totally ball out in that situation. So I mean, there is a lot of great girls basketball that's going on around North Alabama right now. And the reason I asked you about it is because I know a lot of people are going, why am I hearing so much about this Hazel Green Spring Garden basketball game for the, it's not even boys basketball, it's girls basketball. And I knew you'd be able to describe it a lot better than most would.
Well, I am a person that, I live in that area. I've got a lot of customers in the area, Spring Garden. And, like I said, credit to Tim Miller. This is his baby from Hazel Green. If he doesn't want to put this thing on, it doesn't happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And he puts this on. He's just a confident man that's, not afraid to get on a bus and go anywhere in the state. And it's good to have those kind of people. But these big matchups like this, you just don't see these kind of titles of coaches against each other, knowing that you just won a title, you're probably going to win another one. And it's just historic. And people and coaches across the state, they know what it is. I mean, I don't think they had any problem whatsoever ever getting officials for this game once it was announced. I believe there was actually reshuffling of upper-tier officials, if my information is correct, because they absolutely wanted to be a part of this game.
Oh, I don't doubt. I don't doubt at all, Brandon. Man, we appreciate that phone call as well, and I know we'll probably talk to you tomorrow beforehand as well, a little bit more about this, man. So thanks so much for calling in, man.
Roll Tide. Carry on.
All right, have a good one. No, that's the reason why you're going to be able to hear that game on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. What?
Believe Talk Radio WZZN.
You're going to be able to have this game on Talk Radio WZZN. Sorry about that.
All good. It is gonna be a lot of fun though, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And who knows, I might even be on route to it. We'll see about that. Anyway, we'll take it a break off of that, and when we come back, we'll finish out this show with a little bit of predicaments. No, predictions. That's the word right there.
Predicaments?
It's been a long morning, baby.
No, Cowboys fans are in a predicament next week because they got two teams they hate, just like Alabama fans are in a predicament tonight because there's two teams that they hate that are playing in a championship game.
Regardless of that, predictions coming up when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
It's a major predicament.
Here on 97.7, ESPN, The Zone, and WZZN TV.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fire grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 8 Sparky.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I didn't do it. What? It says it's. I didn't do it. On a bright Hawaiian Christmas Day. I wish, man. I wish it was still Christmas. I wish it was still Christmas.
Uncle Clark, are you Santa Claus?
Ooh, and Joe is out of commission for the rest.
What in heaven's name?
You got here.
This is only my second day over here.
I mean, you could leave it like that, or you could fix it. But either way, I'll be the one to start off this segment. Either way, welcome back in. 256-5764-97.7 is the number to get in on the show. We still got a few moments for you guys to hop on in, discuss a little bit about the national championship, as well as some college basketball that we got delighted to this past weekend. We didn't get into a lot of the discussion today. Tom will probably get into some of it. On top of that, Talking Ball is going to continue with it. But we do need to talk Alabama at least tomorrow because, you know, they're playing another basketball game against Vanderbilt, a team that just beat another top 10 ranked team. So, I mean, there's so much turnaround, but we'll wait and hold that one off until tomorrow's show.
All right, it's fixed.
Because we have Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Wait, there's a game tonight?
Joe, I'm going to throw this to you, man. You're going to be the one to set it up.
Why do I do this?
Because we got predictions to be made. All right?
Sam Hickety.
Right now, Ohio State, it's like any other game. You look at Ohio State, and you just can't see a reason why this team would lose. But can you give us a reason why Ohio State might lose tonight?
Yeah. It's one word. Turnovers.
Okay. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, we all know based on the commercials that everything in football was named a certain way to make you hungry.
Isn't that right, Jerry?
Yeah, that's right. What are you eating over there? Rice. So it's turnovers. Like this, look, you have right now, talking about these two teams on defense, it's the number 1 and number 2 scoring defense in the NCAA. You have one of the top 15 offenses in college football and one of the top 5 offenses in college football. You have one of the number 1 passing defenses in the NFL in college football and the number 2 passing defense in college football. Like, I can go down through every bit of this. Yeah. And look, it's not that Ohio State doesn't know how to get turnovers, but they don't get as many turnovers as to what Notre Dame does. Mm-hmm. This is the turnovers in this. And look, we joked about it earlier, but if Notre Dame doesn't get an offensive holding call pulled on them the entire night, yes, give me Notre Dame because of the fact that I know that they can get a turnover.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's definitely the ability for that. We've seen it plenty of times throughout the playoffs. They like to pick it. They like to make people fumble, mostly like to intercept the ball. So is Will Howard going to be elite tonight? It's going to be a team that he has not faced off against, I don't think, his entire career. And already he's got 10 interceptions thrown on the season. We'll see if Notre Dame can add on to that. I'm going to say Ohio State will win this game, but I will say that I'm rooting for the Fighting Irish. Either way, that's all we got for you guys today. Tune in 22 hours. We'll be right back at the same position. Look forward to the Tom Abraham Show coming up next.
It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt